Which of the following function creates a CSS gradient image that can be used anywhere an image URL is required, including background image, border image, and list style properties? A. Canvas. B. Gradient. C. Animation. D. Color. The correct answer is gradient. Which of the following option best explain this code? Background image repeating linear gradient to right D9cc3c FFEB79 D9cc3c10. A. Creating a repeating gradient. B. Creating a mix repeating gradient. C. Creating a shadow repeating gradient. D. Creating a smooth repeating gradient. The correct answer is creating a smooth repeating gradient. Which of the following option best explain this code? Background image repeating radial gradient circle at 50-100 FFEB79 D9cc3c5. A. Creating infinite circular gradients. B. Creating repeating circular gradients. C. Creating repeating radial gradients. D. Creating infinite radial gradients. The correct answer is creating repeating radial gradients. Which of the following option best explain this code? Background image repeating linear gradient 45 deg 426 A77 FFF6px. A. Creating straight stripes. B. Creating cubic stripes. C. Creating spiral stripes. D. Creating diagonal stripes. The correct answer is creating diagonal stripes. Which of the following CSS gradient functions sets the direction and colors of a gradient that fades from one color to the next in a straight line? A. Gradient. B. Line gradient. C. Linear gradient. D. None of the mentioned. The correct answer is none of the mentioned. Which of the following is not a browser-specific versions of linear gradient? A. Morse linear gradient. B. O linear gradient. C. Mac linear gradient. D. WebKit linear gradient. The correct answer is Mac linear gradient. Which of the following CSS gradient functions creates a circular or elliptical gradient and optionally sets its shape, size, and position? A. Radial gradient. B. Circular gradient. C. Elliptical gradient. D. None of the mentioned. The correct answer is elliptical gradient. Which of the following CSS gradient functions creates a radial gradient that repeats infinitely? A. Repeat-radial-gradient. B. Repeating radial gradient. C. Infinite radial gradient. D. None of the mentioned. The correct answer is repeat radial gradient. Which of the following argument is not accepted by radial gradient function? A. Shape. B. Time. C. Color stops. D. Position. The correct answer is time.